I woke up and everything hurt. I didn't realize what had happened to me until I sat up, and my heart sank. My head throbbed, my stomach turned. I tried to stand, and the dizziness forced me to sit back down. Tears started to stream down my face. I didn't know what to do. I waited a few days to go to the ER because I felt scared, dirty. I told the woman at the desk that I'd been raped. A nurse brought me back to an exam room and scoured every inch of my body. I know they were just doing their job, but I felt violated all over again. A few weeks later, my worst nightmare was confirmed. I could be carrying his baby. How did this happen? I felt dirty, I felt ashamed, and I felt violated. I can't do this. I can't have this baby. His baby? I needed help. I called the emergency room and I told them I was pregnant. The nurse told me about Matrix, so I thought I would see what they had to offer. What did I have to lose at this point? Amy locked eyes with me as she called me from the waiting room. I took another test, and it confirmed what was growing inside of me. She sat down with me and asked how I was doing, and in that moment, I broke. All the pain, all the emotion, all the weight I'd been carrying just came out uncontrollably. Sobbing, I told her, "He raped me, and I think I want an abortion." In between the waves of sobs, I explained how my family turned on me. I didn't know how to explain this to my children. I know I could place the baby for adoption, but how would I explain to my daughters the changes they would see in my body? Amy looked at me as she told me this wasn't my fault. None of it was my fault. She told me she was there for me. She figured out I was about 5 weeks along and explained how much the baby inside of me had already grown. I didn't realize it was so developed. The baby's foundations for its brain, spinal cord, and nervous systems were already laid. The heart was already beating, and its lungs were beginning to form. She continued to patiently explain all my options. As soon as she told me the truth about abortion and what the procedure entailed, I knew I could never do that. This baby was already formed. It had a heartbeat. It had a soul. I thought abortion might have been the solution to make everything better, but after hearing that, I wasn't so sure anymore. And then she asked me, "Could you handle the impact of another traumatic experience?" I hadn't thought of it that way. The weight that I would carry for the rest of my life. How could I live with having an abortion? It would break me. I couldn't handle anymore. I didn't want to be condemned to hell. I didn't want to face Judgment Day. I looked at her, right in her eyes. We both knew that I couldn't. With a sigh and tears rolling down my face, I told her I knew I had to choose life for my baby, even if that life wasn't with me. Through the next several weeks, Amy and I met regularly as she helped me process and heal from all that had happened to me. It was a lot harder than I expected. There was a lot of frustration, tears, and pain. And then I found myself at my lowest point. I couldn't do this anymore. I wrote a letter to my daughters telling them how much I loved them and how sorry I was. I started to think about how I should do it. The thought of taking my own life consumed me and overwhelmed me all at the same time. I needed help. I couldn't go through with this. My girls needed me. My baby needed me. I went to the hospital for my 20-week ultrasound. In that dark room, the screen flickered as the nurse rubbed the gel around on my stomach. I saw the head, the legs, and the arms. And then she told me, It was a boy. I've always wanted a boy. I love my 3 girls, but a sweet baby boy. I texted Amy and I told her right away, I wanted to keep this baby. I wanted to parent this baby. I loved him already more than I could ever explain. A few weeks later, I had an appointment to meet with Amy. She showed me a scene from a popular medical show with a young woman who was sexually assaulted. I watched women line the halls of the hospital in support of this patient. They didn't know why they were there, other than the patient needed them. She needed their support. We finished our appointment talking through healing after surviving a traumatic experience. I explained to her that coming here to Matrix was my form of self-care. We got up to leave, and as Amy opened the door, she stepped out and turned around and looked at me. I saw someone standing there, and as I took another step, I saw women lined up all the way down the hall. I couldn't control the tears that started to run down my face. She did this for me. I locked eyes with each and every woman standing down that hall. Their support was tangible. Their love was tangible. I felt loved and accepted and without shame for the first time in a long time. The weeks went on, and as I grew bigger and bigger, my sweet boy growing inside of me grew bigger and bigger. Among all the hardship, all the drama surrounding my rape, the betrayal of my own family, he was the light I needed to keep going. You all helped me. My healing, my baby's life. He wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here without your generosity and love.